Now at 8 o'clock, it looks nice, but we are now bracing for storm number 4 on the first day of spring, when the next round of snow is expected to start, and how much we could get.
Our March storms also causing changes to areas' school calendars, what they're doing to make up for several snow days.
In breaking news out of Texas, when one person is injured when a package bomb explodes, what federal agents are saying about a possible connection to 4 previous attacks.
And stories of survival. Students from Florida set to speak at Harvard in the wake of the deadly shooting at their high school.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
First at 8 o'clock, spring has sprung, but before we get ahead of ourselves here, we have 4 Easter on the way. That is the 4th nor'easter this month, expected to start in about 48 hours or so. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jennifer Egan.
And I'm Amaka Ubaka. Say it ain't so.
I know.
Oh, not looking forward to it. But for the very latest on what we can expect, let's get over to meteorologist Ren Claire.
Good morning, you guys. Yeah, so we're talking about definitely snow, wind in the forecast as we head into tomorrow. Today is a nice break before things get active again for us. And it's the first day of spring, but not feeling much like that as we're in the mid-20s. You need the warm winter gear here today. Winds are out of the northwest and a little breezy here in Boston, so it does add a chill factor. But we're not looking at as windy of a forecast here today. So as we head into the afternoon, it shouldn't feel too bad out there. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s with increasing cloud cover. And by tomorrow, it's windy and we're dealing with that snow, especially into the evening hours. So here's our storm system. We've got a couple storm systems to our south, but we are going to see one of them move off the coast of North Carolina and track up the eastern seaboard, bringing that wind and snow our way by tomorrow. We do have a winter storm warning in effect south of the Mass Pike, and this is where we're also looking at some pretty heavy snow. But I am expecting kind of a broad sweeping 6 to 10 inches of snow throughout most of the Bay State. As you head towards the Cape and the islands, that tapers and there's a cutoff as they'll see a mix at times. Back to you guys.
Ren, thank you. And right now, all lanes are back open after a car burst into flames on I-93 southbound near Medford. It happened near Route 116 earlier this morning. But here's a look at this cell phone video. Wow, look at these flames. It's just consuming the car there. The fire causing heavy delays on the roadway. And I know, Elena, you do have some updates on if there were any injuries.
No injuries, Amaka, so that is the good news. But let me be the first to tell you, if you are taking 93 in, well, this is the time to hone in on your karaoke skills because you're going to have a lot of time in the car. We have a lot of crashes to get to. This one is on the Leverett connector on 93 in that southbound lane. We have another one just after the Zachem Bridge. So check this out. Cars almost stopped, I would say, on the Zachem Bridge because of that. No one's on the Leverett connector because of that crash just before that off ramp right there. Lots of red on the maps. Another crash inside the O'Neill Tunnel. That's right at the exit to Purchase Street. And the expressway in that northbound lane is heavy too. It's going to be busy coming in from Route 3. There's a crash in Braintree in that northbound lane right at the split. So we have a lot to battle through this morning. So get ready for that. The Pike is a little bit heavy as well right now. Your drive time isn't going to be too friendly. About 33 minutes on the expressway, 20 on the Pike, 40 minutes on 93, and a minor delay on the Green Line.
All right, Atlanta, thank you. And we are following breaking news out of Texas. An explosion at a FedEx facility just northeast of San Antonio. This is the latest in a string of blasts in that state, as the search for a so-called serial bomber in Austin continues right now. 7's Chris Anderson is here with the very latest. Chris?
Truly disturbing developments here this morning, Jen. An explosion early this morning, shortly after midnight at that FedEx facility. It's in Schertz, Texas. Here's a map to show you how close that is to San Antonio. According to police, there were about 75 people working in that FedEx facility at the time of this explosion. FBI and ATF agents are on the scene along with the bomb squad. The package was reportedly headed to Austin, Texas when it exploded this morning. And federal agents on the scene say it is likely that that package is linked to the recent bombing attacks in Austin. One employee was injured in this blast but is expected to be okay, so that's some good news there. This explosion just outside of San Antonio, however, comes as investigators in Austin are still trying to track down a serial bomber who they believe is responsible for planting 4 different explosive devices, killing 2 people and injuring several others. The 4th explosion happened Sunday night when a bomb was left by the side of a street and set off by a tripwire. A home security camera actually captured audio of that 4th explosion, reportedly more than a half-mile away. Listen. So scary. 3 other packages were left on people's doorsteps. Officials say all 4 of these bombs are now being analyzed at labs in Virginia, and you can assume that this 5th bomb that just exploded this morning will do the same. Investigators continue searching for clues in all of these blasts and are pleading with whoever is responsible to reach out and talk to them. Amaka, back over to you.
Chris, thank you. And now for more on our relentless winter weather, schools across the state struggling to keep up with all the snow days that have already piled up.
And now with a 4th storm set to bear down, they could have even more days to make up here. 7's Carrie Corrado is live in Chelmsford with more. Carrie, good morning.
Good morning, Jen. That's right. School districts like Chelmsford, they're trying to make up for these snow days, and they're doing that little by little, trying to find different ways to do that. And all the blame is placed on that snowy weather and the power outages and the wind. Now, they do have to follow some rules here. State regulations say Massachusetts school districts must be open 180 days in a school year. Elementary school students must receive a minimum of 900 hours of learning. Secondary school students must receive a minimum of 950 hours of learning in a school year. So now they have to figure out when to make up a day by June 30th here in Chelmsford for their school district. They're looking at March 30th. That is Good Friday, cutting into Easter celebrations and school vacation week. The other 3 dates are on the weekends: Saturday, April 28th, Saturday, May 12th, and Saturday, May 19th. So they're trying to put a plan in place, but keep in mind that winter weather is headed again, and that could cause some problems for the school districts here in Massachusetts. Reporting live, Carrie Corrado, 7 News Today, New England.
Carrie, thank you. The winter weather is expected to cause more travel trouble for flyers, too. Some airlines are waiving change fees before the storm impacts the East Coast. American, United, Delta, JetBlue, and Southwest, they have all already announced fee waivers for flights later this week. For details on when you can change your flight, you should check out the airline's website. As we track another round of winter weather, tune into the news station for complete coverage. JR and the rest of the 7 weather team will bring you the latest track, totals, and everything else you need to know.
And new this morning, 5 people under arrest after reported armed home invasion in Hyannis. Officials say officers responded to the report shortly before 11:30 and stopped a black SUV that was believed to be involved. 4 men were inside that SUV. They were arrested, and a woman was later arrested following an investigation. And new this morning, a fire damaging part of a home in Dorchester. 1 person had to be taken away in an ambulance, and you can see some of the damage that was done to the top floor of that home. Neighbors say that everyone got out okay.
And new this morning, police in New Hampshire are asking for the public's help as they try to track down a suspect. They want to find the man who they say tried to take off with a woman's purse. It happened in Rochester. Police are hoping this surveillance photo will help lead them to an arrest.
Also on 7. We'll do whatever we have to do, but we're going to win.
Trump laying out his controversial plan to end the opioid epidemic, cracking down on abuse in New Hampshire. And part of his tough talk also aimed at 2 cities in Massachusetts. But local leaders say they'd like him to take a different approach. 7's John Coco is live in New Hampshire with more on the president's plan and the reaction. John.
Yeah, Amaka, the president called out 2 Massachusetts cities, Boston and Lawrence, pointing to them as part of the problem. Monday in New Hampshire, President Trump unveiling his plan to tackle the opioid epidemic.
We'll be tough, we'll be smart, we'll be kind, we'll be loving. We'll do whatever we have to do, but we're going to win.
The plan itself focuses on 3 areas: cutting the illicit drug flow, expanding treatment options, and raising awareness, along with a controversial twist, suggesting some drug dealers should get the death penalty. The president also went out of his way to criticize sanctuary cities like Boston and Lawrence.
And every day, sanctuary cities release illegal immigrants and drug dealers, traffickers, and gang members back into our communities.
Hours after the president's comments, the mayor of Lawrence, Dan Rivera, responding.
The face of the opioid crisis isn't what he wants it to be. Some boogeyman that came across the border that speaks a different language. The boogeyman of this epidemic is in these people's souls that have been hooked on this awful, awful drug.
Mayor Marty Walsh responding in part, quote, "It's time to stop painting all undocumented immigrants as criminals. This epidemic is not something we can arrest our way out of. We need actual investments in prevention and treatment programs." And the Lawrence mayor agrees, saying his city needs help through treatment, not threats. We're live in Manchester, New Hampshire. John Coco, 7 News, Today New England.
All right, John, thank you. New details in the Russia investigation. Attorneys for President Trump and special counsel Robert Mueller meeting face to face. They discuss topics that Mueller wants to ask the president about, according to 2 sources. Those include the firing of former FBI Director James Comey and how Attorney General Jeff Sessions was involved. They also want to know about former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's calls to a Russian ambassador. This comes as President Trump is reportedly hiring longtime Washington attorney Joseph DeGeneva. He alleges the president is being framed by a group of FBI and Justice Department officials.
Also this morning, a troubling threat at a local high school has students and parents on alert. In Methuen, police arrested a 16-year-old student after he allegedly made threats and referenced a school shooting in front of other students. Police say they did not find any weapons at his home, and they say that there's no danger right now. In Walpole, police investigated a suspected threat made against students, but ultimately determined there was actually no threatening statement made.
Happening today, students who survived the Florida school shooting bringing their call for change to Massachusetts. The Harvard Institute of Politics holding an event where they'll discuss gun reform and activism. 7's Matt Rascone is live now with more. Matt?
Jen, we've heard their voices, we've seen their faces. Now survivors from Stoneman Douglas High School are headed here to Harvard to continue their effort to change the conversation on guns.
Why do we have to march on Washington just to save innocent lives?
In the 5 weeks since the tragic and deadly high school shooting in Parkland, Florida,
how do we not stop this after Columbine?
Their cry for never again has captivated the country.
I'm asking your opinion as a representative of the NRA.
Student survivors from Stoneman Douglas High School at the forefront of this push to prevent another school shooting.
It just shows that the youth are tired of being the generation where we're locked in closets and waiting for police to come in case of a shooter.
We're just trying to make sure that morally just people are running this country.
And changing the conversation on guns is the topic at a panel discussion in Cambridge tonight, when familiar faces from Parkland will meet with the Institute of Politics at Harvard Kennedy School. Their voices have already led to changes in Florida and in stores like Dick's Sporting Goods.
Not in our schools, not in our streets.
And countless others have joined the cause across the nation. This is a ticket event. It starts at 6 o'clock tonight at the John F. Kennedy Jr. Forum. Reporting live in Cambridge, Matt Rascone, 7 News, Today New England.
Matt, thank you. And on Saturday, hundreds of thousands of people across the country will participate in the March for Our Lives. Stay with the news station for live continuing coverage both here in Boston and our nation's capital.
All right, at 8:13, there is much more news ahead on Today in New England. Surveillance cameras capturing the moment a car slams into a business in Mansfield. What happened just moments before this accident?
And wild weather creating a lot of trouble in the south. Several states dealing with damage and destruction from hail, lightning, even tornadoes.
Plus, an interview you'll see on Just One Station. Rob Gronkowski's agent talking about the tight end's plans for next season after reports number 87 is considering retirement.
And we're staying on top of that breaking news out of Texas. These are live pictures. A package bomb explodes at a FedEx facility near San Antonio. You can see the FBI and other crews on scene. Federal agents saying it is likely connected to previous attacks in Austin. We'll have the very latest throughout the morning. Stay with us.
Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Ren Claire.
Good morning. We're talking about another nor'easter as we head into tomorrow. It has definitely been an active pattern, and I know I don't have to tell you that. Unfortunately, as we head into the first day of spring, it seems like Mother Nature's kind of playing a joke on us here. We're actually looking at some heavy wet snow and strong onshore winds. You know the drill with these, and it is going to definitely bring some negative impacts as we head into tomorrow evening especially. But this active pattern looks to hold even into the weekend and next week, so I don't think we're in the clear quite yet. hopefully things will improve into April. They have to. So we'll be seeing some more spring-like weather certainly by that point. Temperature-wise, we're in the mid-20s with mostly sunny skies, and we'll see increasing cloud cover through the day today for this first day of spring. Pretty quiet, mild. Winds won't be as breezy as yesterday, but by tomorrow, we're back in the thick of things with heavy snow likely. So here's our storm system. We've got a couple storm systems to our south. One of them is really going to impact us into tomorrow as that pushes off the mid-Atlantic and strengthens offshore. So here's a look at where we are expecting that heavy snow. It's really broad sweeping across southern New England. A winter storm warning is in effect south of the Mass Pike, a winter storm watch in effect north of the Mass Pike. But I'm expecting 6 to 10 inches of snow, really for most of us, really all of us, apart from the Cape, the islands, as they'll see a rain-snow mix at times, so that's going to mean lower totals for them. 6 to 10 inches of snow possible for us here in Boston, and that's really going to pick up through the afternoon. So during the morning hours, we do have the chance for a couple snow showers, especially south of the Mass Pike, but most of that snow fills in into the afternoon, and it's heavy into the evening commute with even 1 to 3 inches of snow per hour with some of these bands. So similar story to what we've dealt with before. And into Thursday morning, this is much lighter, tapering into your Thursday morning commute. So the worst travel will be into tomorrow evening, and then conditions improve into Thursday morning. We've got a high wind watch across the coastline with sustained winds out of the northeast, 25 to 35 miles per hour, gusts to 60 miles per hour possible. So again, this is going to mean concerns for power outages. And I know a lot of people are tired of dealing with that, but we got to get ready for the chance to have some outages again. And we're also seeing that heavy wet snow to our southeast especially. So the combination of these gusts and the heavy wet snow will definitely mean some concerns throughout the day Wednesday and even into early Thursday morning. We've got high tide early Thursday that we're concerned about and a coastal flood watch. In fact, for the South Shore, the Cape, the islands, tidal departure of 2.5 to 3 feet possible, and high tides at about 3:15 in the morning. So it is going to be before the morning commute, especially concerned for the South Shore, Cape, and islands. As we head into Friday, we catch a break, but we keep the slight chance for a couple light snow showers, and into the weekend, we're watching the chance for, unfortunately, some more snow and rain mix possible into Sunday, but it's a slight chance.
He's considering several things, among them retirement.
Which is tied for the
Rob Gronkowski's agent talking about the star tight end's future in Foxborough. Gronk's status for next season still very much in the air, and there were reports after the Super Bowl that he was considering retirement.
But Gronk's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, says nothing has been decided just yet.
There's really nothing new to report on Rob. As he said, he's deciding what he's going to do with his future.
And Brady launched one for Gronkowski, reaching for it, touchdown.
It's been 6 weeks since the Patriots Super Bowl loss to the Eagles, and Rob Gronkowski's football future is still in doubt after saying this post-game following a report that he's considering retirement.
I don't know how you heard that, but I mean, I'm definitely going to look at my future for sure. I'm going to sit down the next couple of weeks and see where I'm at.
Since then, Gronk has remained silent on the subject, aside from a couple of head-scratching tweets, including, "Foresee your own future, control your own temptations, and your destiny will not just be reached, it will just be starting." Gronk's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, watching and waiting just like everyone else.
He's considering several things, among them retirement. So right now, Rob has not made that decision. I'm not sure when he will. And frankly, I'm waiting just like everybody else to see what Rob decides at some point.
Well, Gronk has 2 years and $17 million remaining on his contract right now. The Patriots may not have a concrete answer until their organized team activities begin, and that is set to start up in May. So maybe a couple of months till we really find out here.
We're hoping he sticks around.
Yes, we are.
We'll see. All right, coming up here on the news station, an update on a ferry that lost power over the weekend. What officials are now saying caused that outage.
But coming up after the break, Uber now taking action after a tragic accident involving one of their self-driving cars. We'll be right back.